that networking doesn't have to be something that is fake for you, that you can just be who you are. If you're a quiet person, you don't have to go into a conversation with a lot of gusto and strong handshake. My name is Sydney Wenfeld, and I am a Master's of Business student at the University of Arkansas. It's been a year since I started my master's, and thinking what few things would have been really helpful to me to know beforehand. I know a lot of people's careers may have changed, or just realized that you had some time off and that what you were doing wasn't what you really wanted to do. So I'd like to share 5 things that I learned through my master's in business to help you decide if maybe this is a good fit for you, and also to decide what opportunities are really available to you if you do your master's in business administration. The first thing I learned through doing my MBA is that you don't have to have one background to do business. Now, I started my major at Arkansas State University doing nursing because I thought that nursing is a compassionate career choice. It's a selfless way to serve people. And then I quickly realized I took a friend to an emergency room that I do not like blood and I am not good with people's pain. But then I worked as a barista and managed a gift shop at a conference center and realized I really like to sell things. I really like to help meet people's needs and tell them, like, oh, you would love this drink, or this is exactly the book that you're looking for in the bookstore. It's something that people are already looking for, and I can help them and facilitate that process to make the shopping process fun and easy. I realized that I was a good fit for business. So I graduated from Arkansas State with a business degree, and then decided, after taking a gap year, that I wanted to do my master's, because really a master's is becoming a new standard in careers, that if you don't have a master's now, you'll probably need one eventually if you want to move up in management. That's the way that it is in a lot of fields, so I wasn't crazy about the idea of doing a master's, but now that I'm in it, I can't really see another way. The thing that I learned is that you don't have to come from one background. While half of my MBA class do have a business background, the other half have studied something totally different in undergrad. I have classmates with musical theater, biology, food science, all different kinds of backgrounds, and they bring a different perspective to the class. Now, for example, this past semester we started out a project looking at food insecurity, and it was so helpful to have someone who had a background in food science or public service, so that they could tell us maybe something that we were missing. So it's extremely helpful to come from a different background. Now, the caveat is that you will have to know basic accounting and statistics to be doing your MBA. And the good thing is that most universities offer introductory classes or boot camps before you start your semester, so that you have that fresh knowledge coming in and you're not at a disadvantage because of it. The second thing that I learned doing my MBA is that networking is extremely important. My very first week in my MBA, we met the man who designed Walmart grocery pickup, and I was floored that I was in the same room with someone who has just totally transformed the way that we shop. And I didn't realize how just having one conversation with someone, remembering one name, keeping a business card, can be what eventually gets you your job. The word networking makes you feel like, ooh, a little bit weird, like I'm gonna have to act super social and here's my business card, you should hire me. And to some extent, that is true. But I've learned that you don't have to be just one type of person, that it's important to be authentic to who you are, and that people can read if you are faking it to them. Is that one of my best friends is a great cook and loves food and trying new food, and she went into a food company and said, wow, I really love to cook, and I actually used your product in your meatballs last week, and it was like some of the best frozen product that I'd had. And that was true and authentic to her. If I would have said that, it wouldn't have been true, and they would have been able to read that. But she got that job because she was authentic to who she was and used that opportunity. You can expect to go to a lot of networking events and conferences if you're doing a master's in business, but also you don't just have to be one type of person. The third thing I learned is that there are a ton of sports references in business school. Now, maybe you love sports and this is going to be a great fit for you. I came in to business school with not a huge knowledge of sports. I played a lot of sports growing up, but a lot of football terminology and basketball goes right over my head. It doesn't matter what class it's in. It could be marketing, it can be finance, it can be analytics, but there will be sports references, and sometimes there's a collective groan from the women in the room like, oh goodness, it's another sports reference. So it may behoove you to watch a little bit of sports while you were in business school, so you can nod along and be like, okay, I'm getting this reference, and not be totally lost in class. Know general names of sports teams, and that helps get you through business school, which does tend to be 50-50 male and female now, but sports references galore. The fourth thing I learned through being in business school and doing my MBA is that grades are not that important. Now, this surprised me, being someone who was very grades focused in undergrad. I wanted to have a strong GPA so I could have my pick in jobs or go to graduate school. And I think that really did help me get my position in this university. But in graduate school, it really doesn't matter. It's something that my program director opened up our class saying, I don't really care what grades you're getting. I want you to put in a good effort, but it's more important that you are getting the material that's going to be valuable to you. I decided that I was going to focus on the classes that I was most interested in, that they get the majority of my studying time. For me, my emphasis is marketing. So when I'm taking a marketing class, I'm putting the time into going beyond the class material and watching videos or reading books about marketing and retail because it fascinates me, and that's what's going to give me the most benefit outside of class. It's not going to be, my supply chain class is not going to get the most of my effort. As much as I like it, and it's good to be curious and intrigued in your classes, put your time and effort into the classes that matter most to you. And if you get a B in a class that you're not that interested in, just let it go. I know that's hard for a lot of people who focused on grades in undergrad. B's are best. B's are best in graduate school. The fifth thing that I learned in business school is to apply for the internships that you genuinely want. I know that it was a little bit overwhelming coming into my graduate program thinking, will I get the internship that I want? Will I get an internship at all? And I applied to a ton of companies because I wasn't really sure which one would be a good fit. Now, I think that's different. If you just don't know what you want to do yet, apply to a lot of companies. But don't overwhelm yourself applying to a million different things, just trying to get something. It's better to apply to just a few companies that you're really interested in, so then you can bring, again, that authenticity to the interview room and say, this is why I'm interested in working for your company. I think that authenticity comes through really strongly and shows a lot about you, that you applied yourself and that you're not wasting their time, because a company doesn't want to look at a million applicants who are like mildly interested, because they love their company and they want you to love it too. And if it shows that you're just looking to get a job and a paycheck, that doesn't reflect well on you. And also, I mean, the business world can be a small world. Word gets around. I think it's important to apply to internships you genuinely want in your area if possible, and summer internships also that you genuinely want. So I hope these 5 tips were helpful to you, that maybe you're a little bit closer to deciding if an MBA is a good fit for you, or you're already doing business school and you're nodding along like, yep, all those things are true. Thank you and have a good day.